Yo. So welcome back to the podcast. Let's talk more do. I got one of the coolest, most talented, most traveled creatives on the planet. I'm gonna let him introduce himself for you all today.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Umoh. I'm a licensed drone pilot based out of Baltimore, Maryland. And it's a pleasure to be here, man. I've been following your work for a while. I love what you're doing with the Sony Air Peak and just drones and photography and videography in general. So it's a pleasure to be here, and it's really great to connect with you, man. I appreciate you.
Well, let's jump right into it, not beat around the bush. Sometimes I try to stay away from this topic, but it is Black History Month. We are two Black males in the drone space. Talk to me about how you got into drones. For us as Black males flying drones, it's not something that you usually see. I don't want to try to upplay it or downplay it, but we both know that it's not many of us in this space.
No doubt. No, man, I think you hit it right on the head. As we're celebrating Black History Month, we also need to be, celebrating ourselves and bringing attention to creators that have stories, to drone pilots, photographers, and videographers. So in terms of how I got started, man, my journey started in 2018. So I had just left my job at Facebook as a project manager. I decided that I wanted to travel the world. I was going to put all my stuff in storage and I was going to venture out for about 3 months and travel the world. And I knew for sure, like, I wanted to share my story. I wanted to share pictures and videos with my family and friends. So I brought a $200 Osmo Pocket. And of course, I brought a drone to be able to help me tell those stories. So, man, at that time, honestly, I didn't know anything about drones. I didn't know anything about flying drones and really even composition. But I used that time while I was traveling the world, going from South Africa to Nigeria to Greece to all these different places to Thailand to really teach myself how to fly a drone. And from there, I've just been building ever since. And right now, I'm at a place where I just feel really confident in my storytelling. And as you mentioned, I want to make sure that I can help other creatives at all levels really understand the value and importance of drones and storytelling and content creation in the form of helpful drone tips and tricks. And actually, my course that's coming out pretty soon. So it's definitely been a wild ride, a lot of drone crashes, also a lot of great memories. And drones have just changed my life. And it's a blessing to be here and be able to use my platform to help others.
Talk to me about the Part 107 and then about all the countries that you've flown your drone in.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, it's definitely quite an extensive list of countries that I've flown my drone in, man. But, for me, when I first began this journey, I just wanted to share where I was, you know what I mean? Because I'm from Baltimore. So, a lot of people that, that I grew up with that are within my community, traveling outside and traveling international is just not something that's very common. So I wanted to be able to share, my travels with my community, especially my family. So everywhere from Nigeria, I started in Nigeria, went to South Africa, Thailand for 3 months, Bali, took a road trip across the US. So, that year of 2019 was just a year like I was seeing so many different types of landscapes. I was meeting so many different types of people, and really using my drone to sort of, change the narrative of how we see the world. And I think it's especially important, man, as Black people, you know what I mean? Traveling, historically has been looked at as a luxury, you know what I mean? And I wanted to share stories to make it more accessible, you know what I mean, in a cinematic way that really, kind of highlighted and helped to really uplift the Black travel community. With that being said, I was flying a lot in 2019, and then I realized that there's a license that I need to get to technically, be able to make money. So if I wanted to get legitimate, drone jobs, if I wanted to work with legitimate hotels and tourism boards, then certainly being a licensed drone pilot was the way forward. So I sat for my exam in December 2020. And since then, having that Part 107 license just really opened up doors and opportunities that never would have been possible if I was just flying as a recreational pilot.
I think it's always so important for us to talk about the Part 107 because my story is similar to yours. I didn't get my Part 107 until I realized I need this to do this legitimately for a business to do it the right way. And like you said, for anyone watching this or listening to the podcast, you don't need your Part 107 unless you want to work and make money with your drone and then be able to have bigger opportunities. Talk to the people on the podcast about some of the things you got coming up, your platform, Black Men Drone. You got a course coming out. I'm going to try to steal you to teach in my course. I don't know if we're doing this live, but I'll teach in your course if you teach in my course. Like,
Hey,
talk. You just got to hear different perspectives from people because, you know, sitting down, learning, like you said, getting out and flying, there's so many different ways. Tell the people on the podcast about your course, about your community, and some of the things they can look out from you.
No doubt, man. Bro, Lamar, I cannot thank you enough for just giving other creators the platform, man. I feel like this is an example of something that we need to do more. So I just appreciate you allowing me to, you know, share the story, reach a different audience, man. So in terms of the course, it's all on drone storytelling. So this is a course, no matter what level of creative you are, whether you have a drone or not. If drone storytelling is something that you're thinking about and you want to tell better drone stories for your travel trips or for your vacation, this is the course that I'm going to be walking you through, and I'm going to be detailing how to travel with your drone, how to get cinematic drone shots, what you can do to prepare for these drone trips, and then of course how you can use your drone storytelling and content to actually build a brand and maybe even one day get paid opportunities. We'll be talking about the part 107 in just a little bit, but this is really a course for creatives, again, at all levels who need a place to begin with drones. Maybe you have one, you want to fly, you want to be able to tell stories. I would say the second thing that, you know, really focusing on this year is Black Men Drone. And Black Men Drone is created to really amplify the stories of Black drone pilots all over the world. And even though we're named Black Men Drone, there is no Black man drone without Black women. So we definitely want to be able to highlight stories, highlight people that are not just, you know, drone photographers and videographers, but that have drone companies that do 3D mapping, that are into photogrammetry. The drone space is so diverse, and we think we know that there's an opportunity there to be able to amplify the stories of some of the most, you know, impactful and inspiring, you know, people out there, Black and brown people that are really making a difference. So I'm focusing on Black Man Drone. And then, you know, for me, I think in my personal content, you know, I really want to just add more value, you know, value to the viewer, you know, whether that's through drone tips and tricks that you can use, or even visual travel guides to help inspire, you know, the Black community to travel and see the world. I'm really focusing on adding that value within my content. I really feel like I found a really comfortable place where I can do what I love, which is create and help people. So definitely be on the lookout for my Instagram on drone tips and tricks and travel visual guides coming up in 2023.
I love that, man. I love that. So I ain't even gonna front with y'all because it's Black History Month. Zoom trying to kick us off because y'all know about that 40-minute time limit. We gonna get it. So tell the people where they can find you. And before everyone on my podcast, Let's Talk More Do, it's entrepreneurs, creatives, athletes, people that want to do and not just talk about it. If you can leave us with like 3 tips that you would give to someone just starting out with drones, and then let them know where they can find you.
My Instagram, it's my name, Umoh_, and there's where I'm going to be sharing, you know, most of my drone tips and tricks and visual travel guides for production work. So if you're a travel group or you're a tourism board or you're a hotel and you want to be able to create compelling digital content to reach your target audience, my creative studio is Push the Button. That's ptbutton.com. And there we can set up a consultation and really talk about what type of story you want to tell, who you want to reach, and we'll come up with a creative strategy to help you achieve your business goals. And then, of course, Black Men Drone. You know, it honestly doesn't matter what color you are. If you want to support, if you want to help us amplify stories, Black Men Drone on Instagram.com. And that's pretty much it, man. I think I'll be using my personal Instagram as a funnel to kind of talk about everything, Umoh_. And then hopefully, man, you should be able to find me on this podcast. You know, find me within the hybrid creative course. I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I just really look forward to building community, man, from here on out.
Give them 3 quick tips on storytelling with drones.
Yeah.
Don't give them too much now, though. Don't give them too much now. They got to pay.
I mean, want to give the whole course away, man. I would say, you know, if in terms of storytelling, if I were to think of 3 main tips, I would say number 1 is planning. You know, make sure that you have a plan. And there's a lot of tools that we're going to talk about, whether it's Google Maps or Google Earth, to actually plan your flight before you get to your destination. I would say part two of planning is to plan your shots. You know, when you're drone storytelling, every story has a beginning, middle, and end. So plan your shots. And my rule of thumb is shoot wide, shoot medium, and shoot close. And then number three, just have fun, man. You know, it doesn't like, you know, if you're going on vacation, if you're traveling across the world or even traveling down the street, you know, it might seem like there's a lot of pressure that, hey, I got this really expensive camera in the air, I need to get good shots. But at the end of the day, just have fun, man. Just relax. You know, when you're flying safely, I think that you're going to fly more confidently. And when you fly more confidently, you're going to get more shots. You know, for the rest of the tips, check out the drone storytelling course, and I'd be more than happy to have you. It's actually free right now, and yeah, we're looking forward to just really building a community of purpose-driven creators.
For everyone on the podcast, I will have a link in the show notes to all the socials and for the course for you guys to check that out. Thank you so much for giving us your time today, man. I want to tell you on the podcast that I'm proud of you. Oftentimes we let so much time go by before we give people their flowers. I want to give you your flowers right now on the show. And I saw that done before, so this is not like me coming up with it. I saw some of the guys on the pivot do that, and I think it's so true to be able to tell someone like while you're here and living in front of me that I'm proud of you about what you're doing. And you know, the community. My daughter could see me and you flying drones, and then she might want to fly drones. So I want to tell you that I'm proud of you, man.
I appreciate that, man. I received that, and I definitely want to give that love back to you, man. And you know, I'm inspired. I saw you on YouTube for the first time, and I saw you flying a drone. I was like, man, this dude is awesome, and we just connected. And the fact that we're here talking about what we want to see more of in the future, it's a blessing, man. And I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, and you're inspiring me, man. So I really appreciate you, Lamar.
Appreciate you guys tuning into the podcast. I will have everything in the show notes. Peace.
Peace.